My bio is quite long, and I don't mean for it to be read like that, but I appreciate that. You're supposed to like lift a couple of sentences and highlights at it, because it's really not about me tonight. It's about these outstanding soon-to-be college students, right? So, first let me give thanks to God for allowing me to be here this evening to talk to you guys, and let me give thanks to the Greater Houston Frontiers Club also for inviting me to speak, taking a chance, on a TV guy to come and speak. Let me also congratulate once again the students that are here and the recipients of these scholarships. And also, we've already done it, but I want to do it again, the parents of these fine young women and men. Let's give them a round of applause. As mentioned earlier in that lengthy bio, I've got 4 of my own, and so I know all too well. I've got 2 out of school and 2 in at this point, twins in college at this point. So I know what it's like to try and do what you guys have done. So you deserve all the credit in the world. They asked me to come and do a brief keynote. I'm not so sure I can be brief, but hopefully we'll get us out of here, and I'll keep you alive and going. But rather than actually do a speech, I want to give a talk or a chat. And my bio would insinuate that I'm very old, but I'm really not. But I've got a couple of gray hairs here, and so as such, I'm gonna need a little bit of help this evening because I like to also interact. Earlier, somebody or some people in this room should have received an envelope. Nobody got an envelope? No. I need those envelopes. Hand them out, quick. Just at random, anybody. I can ad lib, I know, but I was trying something different tonight, so just hand them out at random, whoever. That's how I get the blood going, Anybody. So as I was saying, I'm not as old as it would appear, but I do have some gray hair, and so, at times I have some memory issues going on. So really the purpose of the envelope, I want you to help prompt me with some things that I want to talk about. So again, you all are high school graduates or soon-to-be high school graduates. You all can read and follow instructions, right? So pay attention to what it says on the envelope. All right? So who's got envelope number 1? Okay, would you please stand? I'm not going to embarrass you. Just go ahead and open it up and read what it says. I'm going to talk about some things that I think that all of you can take with you for the rest of your lives, whether it be on a successful college career and well beyond. And even for those people in this room, some of you may be looking to change careers and make some changes in your own life. So really, there's going to be a lot of takeaways for you guys, and hopefully you'll enjoy some of the messages that I'll bring to you. So what's that first word that you're going to remind me to talk about?
Brand.
Everybody hear that? He said the word brand, B-R-A-N-D, brand. Can anybody know what a brand is or what that means? HEB cannot speak. All right, because they got plenty of brands in the aisles of HEB. All right, anybody want to take a shot?
It's a title.
It's a title? Label?
It's what you represent.
Ooh, I like that. It's what you represent. So let's talk about this for a minute. The idea and concept of a brand. Okay? So when I walk down the aisles of my favorite grocery store, HEB, and I go into the bottled water section, which is now literally a section, right? I see bottles of all shapes, sizes, colors. Some of it's simply just filtered New York City tap water. All right? Some of it's from the spring somewhere in the Ozarks, right? Some of it is 0-calorie water. I didn't think water had calories to begin with. Right? Some of it's got flavors. Some of it's fizzy. But in the end, it's the bottled water section of HEB, right? Well, what is it that makes you pick one bottle of water versus another bottle of water? Okay, well, what is it about the brand? Okay, so tell me, does a $10 bottle of Fiji water really taste better than a $1 bottle of Dasani? Does it really? Okay, well, guess what? They've sold you on a perception, and in fact, all of our taste buds are different, so let's be fair. Okay, it may very well taste better to you. Okay, but is it really worth $10 versus $1? But you paid the $10. Okay. Well, if you taste it, you must have paid the $10. Somebody else paid. Okay. Well, somebody paid. At any rate, part of a brand has to do with what will make you choose that particular bottle of water. And who's going to major in business? Anybody going to major in business? Okay, you all gonna learn about this. Okay, there's something in business when it comes to marketing called the P's. Anybody heard the P's of marketing? The 4 P's of marketing? Product, price, promotion, and place. So y'all probably going, what is he talking about? Where's he going with this, right? Okay, let's talk about the product. We talked about different size bottles, different colors, fizzy, 0 calorie, whatever, right? Okay. Something is going to cause you to choose one versus another. What is it? It could be price, okay, because price is part of the four P's of marketing. Okay, but you know what? They advertise, they give you perceptions about the product, what it may do for you. You know, it may make you a Superman if you get the super shoes or whatever, make you jump and shoot like Michael Jordan, right? Price is an issue, okay? How does it deal with you? What does that got to do with you? Okay, you are all brands. Okay, you're all products. Okay, and like the 4 P's of marketing, when you talk about the product, what is it involved with you and your product? It has to do with, where did I first meet you? Did I meet you when I was touring the Harris County lockup and were you in an orange jumpsuit? Okay, or was it an event like this, where you're wearing a suit and tie, you're well groomed, you shake hands firmly, look me in the eye, right? That has something to do with my first impression about you as a product. Okay, that has to do with place. Was it jail or was it a networking event for scholarship banquet, right? Based on what you feel you're worth. Okay, in life, at some point, you're going to be negotiating a salary with somebody. Okay, well, I'm an employer. I just want to say, hey, I'm going to pay you $100,000 to do whatever. No, part of what goes into that will be your education, your background, how well you present yourself, and the 20 other candidates that I may have had talking to me before you came in. All right, but all those elements go into whatever it is that's going to be your brand. Let me tell you this. Okay, we have a lot of interns at the station all year round. It's one of the things I'm very proud of, and credit my HR director, Tracy Rivers, for getting that done. We have good interns and we have bad interns. Okay, mostly we have good. Okay, but you don't want to be the intern that management was whispering about going, she ain't so good. Or he wasn't so good, because that's a part of your brand. Okay? The takeaway here is, what does your brand stand for? Okay, you got a watch on? You got the time?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
7:54.
7:54. Yeah, I got 7:54 too. What kind of watch you wearing?
A branded Apple Watch.
An Apple Watch. I could have some competition here. Okay, but the message is, what does your brand stand for? Are you a Rolex or are you a Timex? I'm not going to get into the Apple thing. All right? Okay, when it comes to cars, as an example of brands, okay, I use it specifically because one time I talked about this and I used the word Chevy. I don't use Chevy anymore because somebody said, well, I like a Chevy. All right, well, you know what? There was a brand called Yugo. And you all remember Yugo? Probably the older folks in the room, right? It was a horrible, disgusting, terrible car made in Yugoslavia. Okay, lasted about 10 years in the US and then it completely out of business. So the issue there is, what does your brand stand for? Are you a Porsche or are you a Yugo? Okay. Are you a Nordstrom or are you a dollar store? What are you? No. Be ready. Be ready. Who's got envelope number 2?
It says exposure/experiences.
Exposure/experiences. Let's talk about that. Okay, so when I was deciding, even younger than you guys, because you're all in high school now, right? Graduating high school. Okay, even beyond that, I had decided that, you know what, the TV business is what I wanted to be in. And I'm unusual in that regard. Not everybody's like that, and that's okay, parents, if they haven't decided quite yet. Here, Regina, I didn't know you snuck in here. And so one of the things that I did was I had an internship at WABC in New York, Channel 7, sort of like KTRK here, the equivalent. And I was initially interested in the production side of the business. You know, cameraman, TV guy, you know, whatever, punching up this. Never on air, never had an interest in that. But I interviewed and talked to a guy who was a photographer, you know, the guy with the big camera that walks around with the reporters. And I asked him, I said, well, how long have you been working here? Now, New York is the #1 market, so they aspire to get there, New York, Chicago, LA, you know, in some cases. And he says, well, I've been working here 15 years. And I said, well, tell me about, you know, what you've done and what you've experienced. And he says, well, I've covered 5,000 fires. I've been on 7,000 murder scenes. And as he began to talk to me, what I heard was repetition and redundancy. or the same over and over and over again. He may be making great money, okay, because New York is union and all that, it is the number one market. But at the same time, I made a determination for myself, which was, you know what? If I did that for 20 plus whatever years, my mind would turn to slush. So I still had interest in the business, and through another experience, right, I had, working inside with the executives, I looked down onto the 5th floor, because I was on 6. And I saw these people walking around on the 5th floor, men and women. The men wore nice suits. The women wore tailored suits. So they were looking good, right? But yet, as I looked around the rest of the station, the photographers walk around in shirts, t-shirts, shorts, hats, because they were out in the street in the heat and all that kind of thing. But there was something very different about these other people that I saw on the 5th floor. So I went down, and I wanted to investigate more. Who are you? What is it that you do? Turns out they were, Robbo, salespeople. Okay? And it turns out, if you look at although I've got an anchor sitting here, Jose, that for the most part, either you're on-air talent, a major talent like Jose is an anchor, or you're a salesperson. Those are the 2 categories of people within a station that make the most money. Now, what everybody's exposed to on TV is, anchor, reporter. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, but I never had an interest in that. But through my exposure and experience, I made a determination that, you know what? I don't want to be the production guy. I'm going to get into this sales thing. They had expense accounts. All right? They came and went all the time. They were in and out of the office. They weren't sitting and punching a time clock. Whistle goes off, time for 45-minute lunch. Come back, 5 o'clock, punch the, none of that stuff. They worked all the time. But you know what? They made good money. They had expense accounts. They even had parking spaces with their names on them. Jose, you got a parking space with a name on it? The message here is that I don't care what level of life that you're in, particularly to the young folks today. Take the responsibility upon yourself to get those experiences early, and often. Okay? Whether it's volunteering, whether it's job shadowing, whether it's what I call an informational interview, and I don't have time to go into all of that, okay? Or whether it's an internship. Who's got envelope number 3? Initiative. Okay, thank you for the prompt. Initiative. Okay, so when I was at Howard University, I was looking ahead in my curriculum. And I saw there was a point in time in the first semester of my senior year that they had a little slot there that says, formal broadcast practicum or internship. So that was when they were scheduling me in my first semester of my senior year to have a formal internship going towards credit. And if I didn't do it, I wasn't going to graduate. Okay, but I looked at that a year in advance. Because what you may or may not know about Howard, and I see we've got a lot of great schools listed on this sheet. I don't see Howard, unfortunately, but I see a couple of HBCUs. But I'm seeing some Ivy League schools here. I'm seeing UT Austin, Ivy League of the South. So not too shabby with this class that we've got in front of us. However, one of the things that Howard University had was they had a top-rated commercial FM radio station. Where's KB Smooth? Where's he? Okay? WHUR-FM. Melvin Lindsay, The Quiet Storm, that's where it came from. The Quiet Storm on Magic 102, they copied Lindsay. So what I said to myself was, you know what? All of our broadcast management graduates look the same. Branding. We all look like the same bottle of water. And so what I said was, I don't want to look like the same bottle that everybody else does, my fellow classmates. So I went to my counselor and I said, you know what? I'm seeing that a year from now, it's time for my formal internship. Oh, by the way, for extra credit, by the time I actually took my formal internship, I already had 5 or 6. And I said to her, I said, you know what? All broadcast management majors look like the same bottle of water when we graduate. We either intern at WHUR-FM, or we also had a TV station on campus, WHMM TV. So she looked at me and she kind of went, so what are you saying? Well, I'd like to pursue an alternative experience, not alternative facts or alternative news, okay? An alternative experience. Because I wanted to build a different looking brand. All right, So she goes, well, what are you saying? I said, I like to pursue an internship somewhere off campus, somewhere else. And she says, well, everybody, I said, I know about everybody, but I'd like to try and do something else. So she gave me this kind of look. She went, okay, what does that mean? What is it? What'd you say? I don't know about that. Okay, what she was telegraphing to me was not thinking. She was going, I don't know if I can trust you. I'm a student after all, right? Some of us blow it off, right? Hey, I've got an internship off campus. See ya, right? Party over there, lunch or whatever. Okay, so part of the issue was trust. And I said, look, let me sell you on my proposal. I said, whatever it is you need me to do, I will do. You want paperwork, you want time cards, you want a letter from the company that I'm with, a weekly report from my supervisor, I will do whatever it is you need me to do. But let me have this opportunity to go and pursue something else off campus. So she finally said, okay, I guess I was a salesman back then. So there's a little reception that we have, similar to this, where at the time that it comes to take your official internship, they begin handing out, congratulations, you're going to WHUR, HMM, HUR, HMM, HUR, HMM, HUR. And they got to me and they said, congratulations, you're going to WRC-TV, which was the NBC station in Washington, D.C. What did my classmates do? Now, these are my friends, okay, but doesn't matter, okay? We're all in competition, okay? What did they do? What would you do? Huh? What'd they do? Come on, don't be shy. Huh? They freaked out. What else they do? Huh? No. Who said that? Say it again. They wanted to know, how did you do that? How did you do that? Okay, so let me tell you another little story that my interns love, related to this story. Okay, how many of y'all know what government cheese is? Government cheese. Government cheese. Okay, some of the young folks may not, but you will remember this story. Okay, in the 1970s, the dairy farmers in the Midwest are kind of going out of business. They had issues, and I'm not going to go into all that, the economic stuff, but somebody in Congress got the deal. We can't allow the dairy farmers to go out of business. So they said, well, let's use all of our tax dollars to go buy up all this cheese. So they bought up the cheese and kind of kept those dairy farmers afloat. Okay, so the next thing you know, there's warehouses all over the country filled with cheese. Okay, but the Congress said, solve the problem. Right, saved it. So now they're going, what are we going to do with all this cheese? So they said, well, let's give it to the poor people. Okay, so literally back in the 70s, okay, all over this country, there were warehouses with people lined up early in the morning getting a block of big yellow cheese. It wasn't Kraft singles, okay, it wasn't wrapped individually, it was just a gigantic block, a big old box full of just yellow cheese. Okay, so the takeaway is that you can either stand in line and wait for somebody to give you something. Okay, or you can go out and forge your own destiny. Now guess what? I did not say don't take the government cheese. Okay? Okay, but the issue is, do you want to be the person that's simply going to wait in line for somebody to give you something, or are you going to go out and forge your own destiny? Because that's what I did. Okay, that's the takeaway. So y'all remember government cheese. What's the next envelope number? I think we're up to number 4.
Ask.
What is that?
Ask.
Ask. Ask. A-S-K. So, get ready. How much are these scholarships, by the way? Are they all the same? Donnell?
Yeah.
How much? $1,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Wow. Huh? Did y'all know? You didn't know? Okay, well, sorry for if I unwrapped the surprise. Well, let me tell you another story about ask. A-S-K, ask. Okay, y'all heard something about Columbia University Graduate School of Business, right? Well, back in the, whatever this year was, like foggy memory, okay, the tuition at Columbia Graduate School of Business was $65,000 a year all in. $65,000 a year all in. For 1 year. Okay, now y'all may say, you may have a dollar may not necessarily, be relevant to you. I can guarantee your parents are going, what? Okay, now keep in mind something else. Okay, this was back in the late 1970s. Money. Okay, so now Baylor today is about $65,000 a year. Okay, but we're not here to talk about college costs. But $1,500 is a lot of money. Appreciate that. I'd want that because every penny counts. So, and I made a mistake because when I told the story someplace else, I said, a thick envelope? Y'all file your applications to college, right? Okay, most of us, I'm going to assume, we're going to apply for financial aid of some sort, right? So as you wait, you're in that waiting period, right? You filed all your applications, your parents have filed all the FAFSAs and all that kind of stuff, right? And what are you waiting for? Now, what I heard more recently, because this tells you my age and how old school I may be, was, well, we get an email now. Okay, well, when I was in school, the big deal was the envelope came, was it thick or was it thin? Okay, I got to tell you, the email, not dramatic at all. I mean, that'd be boring to me, an email. Yes, you're in, or no, you're not. No, is the envelope thick or is it thin? That's much more exciting to me. Before you even open the envelope, you knew, right? So at any rate, I got my thick envelope from Columbia University saying, congratulations, you're admitted to the School of Business for an MBA. Okay, and along with that came your financial aid package, right? Same as today, kind of, grant, or do you get an email for that today too? Yeah. Email, oh God. How I long for the good old days, all right? So I opened up my thick envelope from Columbia, excited, #1 choice of schools. And I looked at the financial aid component of it. And it was, grant, loan, this and that and the other, typically what it is today. And remember, $65,000 in $1978, okay? And I'm looking down, and it was not 100%, obviously. And I kind of looked down, and I went, it's a big nut, big nut. So I picked up the phone, and I called the director of financial aid at Columbia Graduate School of Business in New York City. And I was in Washington, D.C. at the time. Hi, my name is D'Artagnan Bebel. I'm so grateful to have been accepted to the Graduate School of Business. Coming back to my hometown, New York, is what my plan is. You're my #1 choice of schools. I need to meet with you. What about? Okay, Rob knows, and I was a salesman back then, I guess. We want to get in front of the prospect, right? I don't want to negotiate or talk over the phone. So I said, well, I really need to meet with you to go over some issues. Well, what is it you want to talk about? And I said, well, you know what, look, I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm a student right now. I'm willing to get on the train and come down there and meet with you. Can I meet with you next week or whenever you have time? Okay, 2 o'clock on whatever day. I got on a train. I went down specifically for that meeting, and they had the director of admissions and the financial aid officer there. And I said, hi, my name is D'Artagnan Bebel. Thank you again for taking this meeting. Let me tell you why you want me to come to this school. And I proceeded to kind of sell them on why they wanted me as a part of this class. Then I told them, now that I've said that, let me tell you why I want to come to this school. Because I'm really excited. This is my #1 choice. I've got other schools, but this is my #1 choice. And I really, really, really want to come here. But you know what? I'm looking at the aid package and I need a little more love. I need a little more love. And immediately, the back stiffened. Well, we don't do that. And so I said, well, okay, now look, I got on a train and I came all the way down here, okay, to see you. So let me explain to you again why you want me as a part of your class. So I repeated again all those selling points of my brand. And then I once again told them how excited I was and how much I really wanted to come here. And I said, so before you give me an answer, okay, I want you to think about it. I took control, right? I want y'all to think about it. Okay, now I'll leave now. Okay, and I'd appreciate if you could give me a little more love. and I left. 2 weeks later, back in my place in DC, I get another thick envelope from Columbia University. Gave me some more love. Okay. Now, I got lots of stories, but my time is limited. And so the takeaway here is, in sales, we have a saying, if you don't ask, you won't receive. Okay, I'm a busy guy. Okay, self-importance, all that kind of stuff. I don't have time to be thinking about you and what it is that you want to do, what it is you want to accomplish. So somehow, some way, you've got to be able to communicate with people what it is you want. Because in sales, we have another saying. When the prospect says no, that's when the selling really begins. Okay, we don't take no for an answer. We will try and problem solve around that. What is the objection? How can I, whatever. Sometimes, yes, it will be no. But the takeaway here is if you don't ask, you won't receive, period. Because nobody knows what it is you're trying to get or why. What's the next word?
The word is confidence.
Confidence. Confidence. Confidence. That was appropriate for you.
I knew it was coming. Like I was watching, I was like, "This is my time."
Okay, so we're in a computer age, and like I said, I'm not into these email acceptance letters and all that kind of thing. But there's something called PDF. Okay, well this ain't that PDF. Okay, what I want to instill in you is that thought about the concept of confidence. Okay, how many of y'all, okay, if your parents are here, you can just raise your hand low. Okay, but how many of y'all have walked into a classroom where you knew there was going to be a test and you had butterflies in your stomach? How many of y'all? Ooh, couple, okay, not you. Okay, what does that really mean when you get the butterflies in your stomach on test day? Not prepared. You get an A+. Okay, PDF. Preparation, discipline, flexibility is what I want to talk about. Because in my little cake mix, in aisle 7 at HEB, okay, when you see the cake box marked confidence, the ingredients are PDF. Preparation, discipline, flexibility. Okay. Tiger Woods, y'all know who he is? Okay, I've met him several times when I was in LA. Anyway, but let me tell you something about Tiger Woods. Okay, yes, I know he's kind of broken down now and probably beyond hyperspeed. But let's think back to the heyday. Okay, before a tournament, what was Tiger Woods doing? Practicing. When Tiger Woods came off the course after the 18 holes on the first day of the tournament, what did he do? He went back to the range and hit thousands of balls. Okay, I've seen him do it. Preparation. Okay, the other thing about Tiger Woods, and again, I don't know, how many golfers in the room? Probably, I play golf. Okay, well, there it goes. Okay, so, you got this piece of metal in your hand, and can you hear me? You guys hear me? Okay, you got this piece of metal in your hand, and you're sitting down there, and you're going to hit at the ball, right? And sometimes you take a piece of the earth. It's called a divot, right? Take a piece of grass. You kind of nick a piece of the grass when you take the ball up, right? Okay, sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's not. Okay, but you know what? If you hadn't played golf before and put a golf club in your hands for the first time, you're going to have a big problem. Trying to hit that ball, you're probably going to be digging up more real estate than you need to, right? Okay, with Tiger Woods, as he was practicing, okay, every ball that he hit, he would take a divot, take a divot, take a divot, take a divot, take a divot. Ever so small, every single time. And what I realized when I watched him was he was carving out a square in the turf, about half the size of this piece of paper. Okay, discipline. Okay, flexibility. Okay, how many of y'all know Michael Jordan? Again, I'm old school, so I am. So, and this is a true story because I don't know Michael personally, but I've met him on many occasions, did a little business with him. So, he tells a story about rookie camp. Rookie comes in, oh, Mr. Jordan, I've been looking forward. You've been my hero. I've watched you ever since I was a kid, and I'm so happy playing on, the Chicago Bulls with you. And he goes, but let me ask you something. He says, can you do this dunk? And so the rookie went up and did some jammer, slammer, whatever, slam dunk. So Michael Jordan looked at him and went, So Michael Jordan then said, well, can you do this? And what he did was he got up on one foot. I'm going to exaggerate to make the example, but it's a true story. He got up on one foot, put the heel of his raised leg behind his head. Okay, took one arm, put this, and wrapped one behind it. He wrapped himself up like a noodle or like a pretzel. Okay, and he said, well, can you do that? And the rookie said, yeah. But that was an example of flexibility. Okay. How many of y'all know Serena Williams? Come on, Serena Williams. Tennis? Lord plays tennis? Okay. She exudes confidence. Why? Because she's prepared, she's disciplined, and she's flexible. How many of y'all, well, we just found out a couple weeks ago. Okay, but she just won a major slam pregnant. Did y'all know that? Okay, but let me tell you something. Okay, when Serena walks on the court, could you stand up for a second? First of all, do you know who Serena Williams is? Okay.
I do now.
You don't? You do now.
I do now.
Well, I need somebody. Look. How you doing? I'm gonna whoop you. Doesn't matter who she's facing. Okay, and similar to Tiger Woods back in the day. Okay, when she walked on the court as your opponent, you were already trembling. Okay, because she drips and oozes confidence. Why? Because she's prepared, disciplined, and flexible. Okay, now here's what I tell you. You need to have confidence. I don't care what it is you're going to do in your life. And if you don't have it, fake it. Who's got the next word?
Success.
Success. Success. We're almost there. We're almost there. Okay, so another affectionate Columbia story. So 2-year program, MBA, yada, 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 Ivy League, blah, 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 all that other kind of stuff, right? So Columbia graduates, like many of you will be, as I read Yale, UT, University of Chicago, will be heavily recruited. Not to say that the ones I didn't mention won't be, but I'm just telling you, the Ivy League is in a different class. And I'm not saying that to pull rank. I'm telling it to give you an attitude. Okay, so the graduating class, they do a white paper. Okay, they interview all of you individually as you're graduating from Columbia Business School. And they want to know where you're going to go work. Where have you accepted an offer? Whatever, okay. So when it came time to do my interview, right, said, where are you going? I said, CBS. Ooh, Fortune 5. Okay, WCBS FM radio, to be exact. Ooh, wow. Check mark, big star. Okay, what are you going to be doing? I'm going to be an account executive. And they went, what, account executive? What? You mean account manager? I said, no, an account executive. And I said, a salesperson. And all of a sudden I got that stiffened back from the exit. Okay. Well, okay. How many people will you be supervising? I said, well, I'm going to be sharing a sales assistant. There'll be 2 of us sharing an assistant. And they're like, ooh, how much you going to be making? I says, well, the way they've explained it to me is, because I'm really going to be a commissioned salesperson, for the first year, since I don't really have any clients yet or anything, they're going to give me a minimum guarantee of $35,000. Now, keep in mind, this is 1970, late 70s dollars. Okay. So they went, ooh. In the end, the arrogance of my graduate school, they excluded my data from the white paper of graduating class. Why? Because back in 1978, 79, whatever, okay, Columbia Business School graduates starting salaries back in, what did I say, 1970 something, whatever, early 80s, late 70s, okay, starting salaries, $85,000, $90,000, $100,000. What's your signing bonus? 40 grand. How many people are you going to be supervising? 18. Okay, those are the kind of stats that my graduating class had. So where was I? I was out standing on a platform in the F train. Okay, so they excluded my data. The message here is, You define your success. Okay. This may be dicey. Okay. Don't allow your parents to define your success. You define your success. Don't allow teachers to define your success. You define it. Now here's what I'll tell you. Your parents are paying the bills, I assume, for the time being, so you better please. Okay, that's part of the deal. But the bigger message here is you define your success. Because here's what happened in actuality. They excluded me from the white paper, which was okay. I didn't really care anyway. Because I'm confident in what I wanted to do and happy to do it. Because I define my own success. It's what I want to do. Just because it doesn't meet your criteria for success, and it didn't bother me. I didn't want to go, they didn't put me in the white paper. Mm-mm. Not me. Okay, so remember I told you they gave me a first-year guarantee of $35,000? Okay, if you kind of do what we say you do. Okay, I made $72,000 in my first year. At the end of the second year, I made $150,000. Okay, and by the end of my second year, many of my fellow graduate students had been working their second or third job. But I was still at WCBS-FM. Okay, again, the takeaway there is you define your success. Okay, do it for you. Okay, who's got envelope number 7? Huh? What was that?
There's no word.
No word. Is that a word or is that no word? Or
There's no word on here.
there's no word on there. Rob, it's blank. Rob, you're supposed to fill those out, man. It's my cousin. Okay, it is blank. It is blank. And it was meant to be blank.
That's not blank.
What is it? You need mic. Go up to the mic and say it. Go up to the mic and say what you see. Go on up to the mic and say what you see. Yeah, go ahead, say it.
$50.
$50. Y'all see it? It's real, it ain't monopoly money. Who wants it?
I'll take it. I do.
Got your attention now, don't it?
Still want it. Still want it.
It's on the ground.
Same value.
Don't get ahead of me now. Don't get ahead of me.
Speech cost a lot.
Who wants it now? Okay, I saw most hands go up that went up the first time, but some hesitated. Like you hesitated again.
Oh, I didn't do it the first time.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, then you don't get a vote this time. So, who wants it? Why?
It has the same value.
What'd you say?
It has the same value.
It has the same value. The missing card. God, that was amazing. Okay, in life, you're going to make mistakes. In life, you'll make bad decisions. In life, you'll be taken advantage of. In life, you'll be lied to. You'll be cheated. You'll be sullied, like I did to that $50 bill.
I'm on preach, star.
My cousin's that preacher. But in life, as long as God gives you breath in your body, you still have value. You have value. You have value to serve God's purpose for you. You have value to yourself. You have value to your family, as well as society, as long as God gives you life. So no matter what happens to you in life, you still have value. Woo, woo, woo! there are 10 two-letter words. I want you to think about that. 10 two-letter words. What two-letter words can you think of?
To, do, so,
Huh? What? Two? Do? Okay.
so,
We,
And.
Okay, you got a bunch of them. All right. But there are 10 two-letter words that, when strung together, have a very powerful meaning. And so what I want to leave you with is this. If it is to be, it is up to me. Congratulations, graduates. Thank you for having me.